As a youngster, I lived in the state of Wisconsin, and not too terribly far from Appleton, Wisconsin, which was Senator Joe McCarthy's hometown. And some of the earliest memories that I have of political discussion centered on Joe McCarthy and what kind of man he was. For some of us, the post-World War II America of the 1950s may seem distant and remote. It was a time of hope, and it was a time of fear. Here, in America, there was the hope that the rule of law and the spirit of equality and the spirit of justice would be a guiding light for a better future. But there was then, just as there is now, a political philosophy of divisiveness and a political philosophy of hate. And the great demagogue, my former senator as a kid, Senator Joseph McCarthy, had become its champion. Few in the media, especially in the then new medium of television, were willing to take a stand for fear that they too would be targeted by McCarthy. And of course, there was the fear that they would lose their corporate sponsors. But there were some courageous Americans who understood Edmund Burke's warning that, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, all that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. Now, most of you have seen the great film Good Night and Good Luck that tells the story about how a small group of journalists at CBS honored our American principles and did in fact stand up to McCarthy and his terror. It's the story of Edward R. Murrow, it's the story of Fred Friendly, and it's the story of Joe and Shirley Wershba. Joe was a producer and a reporter, and Shirley was a writer. CBS then had a policy that prohibited people from working together who happened to be married. So while secretly married, and apparently everybody knew this, so I don't know how great a secret it was. So while secretly married to each other, Joe and Shirley had to pretend to be single. In one of the movie's great lines, Patricia Clarkson, who we saw as Shirley, tells Robert Downey Jr. as Joe to take off to remove his wedding band before he leaves their apartment to go to work. Joe responds, and this is the quote from the film, "Name me another wife who reminds her husband to take off his ring before he goes to the office." Now, Joe Wershba was a great New Yorker and a great American, and it is altogether fitting that we gather here today to honor him. He made a difference, he made a very real difference, and in doing so, made our nation a better place. Joe Wershba's remarkable life's achievement won him 2 Emmys and a nomination for a Pulitzer Prize. I consider myself very fortunate to have met him out on Long Island at a screening of Good Night and Good Luck a few years ago, and I will share with you, I will tell you, and this is the truth, that as good as the actors Patricia Clarkson and Robert Downey Jr. are, I will remain much more impressed with the real Joe and the real Shirley Wershba. Although Shirley had to leave her job at CBS because their marriage, secret as it was, violated its anti-nepotism policy, Shirley raised their children, who are here with us this afternoon as well, on Long Island, and then returned to broadcasting, producing and writing for CBS Morning News, for which she was herself nominated for an Emmy, and for 60 Minutes, ABC's Evening News, and the McNeil-Lehrer Report. Let me present you with this New York State Proclamation, which is an official document. It's an official document of the state of New York. Shirley, on behalf of all New Yorkers and all Americans, please accept our profound gratitude to you and to Joe for having had the courage and the strength to take us out from under that shadow. And as a state, as a nation, and as a people, we are all the better for what we did. Thank you.
Wow.
I just want to express my appreciation for the fact that I thought I was the only one who appreciated what he had done for the country. And all all his contributions in general through all his work. I didn't do such important work, he did. But now I realize that a lot of